Good morning, students. In English, now we will start Unit 3, Trees, Our Lifeline. Tell me, students, what you call as lifeline? Yes, if something that helps us to survive, we consider it as lifeline. Then, let's learn the reason why we call trees as our lifeline. Before I explain you this, there is a quiz given to you in page number 60. Let's deal with that. The study of plants is called, what we call it as? Botany. Yes. Second question, a biosphere reserve is a type of ecosystem with plants and animals of unusual scientific and natural interest. Where was the first biosphere established in India? I hope you can answer this. The correct answer is the Nilgiris. Next question. One of the first exotic species of plants in India was eucalyptus. From which country was this brought? Yes, correct. It's Australia. Next, question number 4. Which is the national tree of India? Yes, very good. Banyan. Which part of the cinnamon tree is used to make a common spice? Yes, it's bark. Trees are called dash. I hope you all can answer this question. What we call the trees as the lungs of the world. So, where I stopped before the quiz, that we are going to learn the reason why we call trees as our lifeline. So, let me tell you that. I hope you can answer also this. As trees provide us the life supporting gas, and which one is that? Yes, oxygen. That's why it is also known as the lungs of the world. So, because of this, we consider trees as of our lifeline. Students, in this unit, we will learn the stories which tells us the importance of the trees. Let's start the first section 1, the gift of Ku. This is the story of great god Ku and his coming to the island of Hawaii. Early Hawaiian people were great storytellers. They did not record their history in books but used the oral tradition, and all the great stories that we know were passed on by word of mouth from generation to generation through legends, myths, prayers and chants. Children, the Hawaiian people, they did not maintain any kind of record of whatever happens in their time. What they used to do, they tell all these events that happenings in the form of stories to one generation, then it used to pass from other generation, and in this way all the events or whatever happenings is there in their time, it used to be passes from generation after generation. Now for this they use many ways. What are the different ways in which they pass this? First is legend. Legend means a traditional story that may or may not be true. Okay. Secondly, in the form of myths, that is also considered as the old story that especially tells about a particular god or the courageous people's story related to them. And also in the form of different prayers and chants. Chants means that religious songs. Na? So in all these forms, they used to pass their happenings generation after generation. Next, legends are the keepers of history, preserving culture and tradition. Legends also teach how ancestors lived in their world and how future generations should live in theirs. As I told you that legends are the traditional stories. Okay. So that can also be termed as the keepers of history. By this we learn how the ancestors lived in their world, in our world you can say now, and so on that basis we can shape our future. Means if we will know the past, so we can design our future in a more better way. Next, the gift of Ku is not just a story about sacrifice, but it also speaks of preservation. Preservation means storage. The idea of conservation and intelligent use of resources is perhaps the most important lesson for us today. And this story best illustrates it. See, by this story, Gift of Ku, we will learn not only the value of sacrifice, but also the value of preservation. That I already told you. What does it mean? Storage. As well, in this story is the best example of conservation, means it gives us the idea of conservation. That is, conservation means you can save it, okay. And intelligent use of resources means whatever help you to survive. So whatever is available to us, how to use that resources. So by this story you will learn more about these ideas, okay. Next, so from here now we are going to start the story. The world of Hawaii in the days of old was filled with the spirits of the ancestors and the gods. The Umakao, or ancestral guardian spirits, were alive in the trees and plants, the birds and the mist, and in the active volcano. Here the author says that spirits of Hawaiian ancestors and gods were present in the world of Hawaii. Hawaiians believe that their ancestors' spirits, whom they called Umakao, are present in the form of trees, plants, birds, and mist means clouds, and in the active volcano. Okay. Ku and Hina, the male and female powers of heaven and earth, ruled over the fruitlessness of the land and the people, and every Hawaiian felt their protection. The word Ku means rising upright straight, and Ulu means to grow, increase, and spread. So here, who was Ku? Ku was the male power of heaven and earth. And who was Hina? Yes, Hina was the female power of heaven and earth. So Hawaiians live in their protection actually. Ku and Hina's protection. Ku means, the literal meaning of Ku is rising upright. You can say, student, that the one who moves without any fear. Okay. And Ulu means to grow, increase, and spread. It stands for, actually the meaning, in the literal meaning, the Ulu word stands to achieve prosperity, means success. Okay. To grow, increase, and spread, it resembles to, it stands for prosperity and success. Next. To the people, Ku was the symbol of abundance, and so was Ulu, or the breadfruit tree, a body form of Ku. Actually, Ulu was a breadfruit tree, which was a body form of Ku. How the body of Ku became, Ku was the male power, so how that Ku's body became a breadfruit tree, Ulu, that we will learn in the story. Next. Aside from the nutritional value of Ulu, the breadfruit tree had many other uses. The trunk made fine surfboards, hula drums, and parts of canoes and houses. Hula is a Hawaiian dance. Okay. The young birds were used as medicine. The inner bark for making kapa. Kapa is a kind of a fabric. The sap was used as caulking material and also smeared on certain tree branches to snare birds in the forest. Sap means it is the liquid which is present in the plant, okay. And caulking material means it is a method of joining two edges of the boards to prevent the leakage. And snare means trap, okay, trapping the birds. So actually, this Ulu was not only a fruit. It was not only a nutritive, means having nutritive value. It also used for, means the different parts also used for many other purposes. Like the trunk of the tree used to make the surfboards. Surfboards means it helps the board used for surfing in the waves. Okay, it is also used to make the drums for hula dance. Maybe it used to be a strong wood. That's why. Then it is also used to make the narrow boats and houses. After then, the young birds having the medicinal value, and even the inner bark is also used to make a kind of a fabric that is known as kapa. Okay. Just now I told you what is sap. Sap is the watery substance present in the tree. So it is used as a sealing material, means just like acting like a glue. okay, to join the edges of the boat to avoid the leakage. And also used to trap, as it has the quality of a glue, it sticks, so it is used to trap the birds also. Next, in more modern times, the ulu wood was used to make furniture, and the dried birds were burned, the smoke acting as an insect repellent. So in modern times, the people use the ulu wood to make furniture, as it is very strong, and its bird used to dried and used as an insect repellent, insect to keep the insects away. Next, Polynesian people knew how to use the shoots growing from the base of the breadfruit tree, and early voyagers, whom we call as voyagers, who travel from one place to another on a long journey, carried these young shoots over thousands of miles of sea to new lands, spreading them from island to island across the Pacific Ocean. The peoples of Hawaii, they all knew that the shoots of the breadfruit tree have the tendency to grow. So it was sent to different islands with the help of travelers, so that this fruit will spread in everywhere throughout the world. How did this breadfruit come into existence? The Hawaiians have a legend which tells us of its origin. So students, how the Hawaiian people got this gift of breadfruit is narrated in the form of a legend. Now we are going to learn that legend. When the great god Ku came to the island of Hawaii, there was much commotion in the skies to celebrate his arrival. The air was filled with sharp flashes of lightning and loud cracks and rumbling of thunder. The people knew that something unusual was happening. But when he walked into their village, they did not recognize Ku as a god. So the legend told us that the great god Ku decides to live among the humans as a general people. So he came to the island of Hawaii. When he was coming to the earth, the sky peoples, the peoples of the sky, they were celebrating it as a festival. So there were loud lightning and the cracks of the thunder rumbling was all there. But when he entered in the village, no one recognized him as a god. Ku lived among the people as a planter. With powerful hands, he moved huge piles of soil effortlessly, and with his long digging stick, he alone did the work of 20. Ku met a young woman, and the two fell in love. They decided to get married and start a family. So on earth, Ku lived as a general planter life, and he was very strong, as obvious he was a god. Okay, and as the time passes, he fallen in love with a lady, and the two get married and started a family. Next, many years passed, and one particular year there was a terrible famine. The people in the village became wretched. Wretched means miserable, very sad, okay, weak and hopeless. Ku and his wife saw that their own children were starving. Starving means they were suffering from lack of food, okay, so lack of energy was there. Was there a way out of this misery? Someone who could help? After many years, students, there came a situation of famine. Famine means when lack of food will be there, khane ki kami ho jana, due to which every village peoples were very unhappy. Okay, Ku and his wife were very tense about the situation, and they how to get over this. They were thinking of that. His wife asked him, is there anyone who could help them in this time of need? So here I stopped, student. We will continue in the next